Hello, my name is Steve Bowler, and welcome to the Juniper Open Shortest Path First OSPF Lab number 6. In this lab we're going to take a look at Not-So-Stubby Areas, otherwise known as NSSA. If this network diagram looks familiar, that is because we used the same network diagram in our Juniper OSPF Lab number 5. In that lab we looked at and explained in very good detail the concept of a stub area. So I highly recommend that if you haven't watched that video yet, I would first take a look at that video because it explained a lot about LSA filtering using the stub area. And what NSSA is going to allow us to do is take that filtering to another level. So it's good to have a background with stub areas before watching the not-so-stubby areas. However, it's not essential, but I'm not going to hit on all the foundations that I did on the stub area lab, which is the OSPF lab number 5. So it's a good idea to watch that. It's a long video, it's about an hour and 5 minutes, but it's a very detailed video and it'll tell you everything you need to know about stub areas. So that's enough about the last lab. Let's go ahead and take a look at NSSAs. So the network diagram is almost exactly the same as Juniper OSPF Lab number 5. The only difference is what you'll see is on R4 we have an external route that we're going to add. We're just going to add a static pointing to the 172.16.1.0/24 network. We're going to do this for the purpose of showing you what a NSSA will do with this external route when it is added into OSPF area 24, flooded to the backbone area, which is OSPF area 0. And then we're going to look at it as it tries to come into our area, our OSPF area 35. This is going to be our NSSA area that we're going to configure. This is going to be area 35 between R3 and R5. So what the NSSA, let's just get you familiar with the concept of an NSSA before we dive in and configure it. An NSSA, or not-so-stubby area, is going to take type 7 LSAs, and these type 7 LSAs are going to be added into the OSPF domain by being externally brought in. So in this case what we're going to do the same thing we did in the OSPF lab number 5. We're going to create some static routes on R5. I'm sorry, yes, that's correct. We're going to add some static routes on R5 pointing to the loopback 0.6 networks on R6. And then on R6 we're going to create just a default route pointing all traffic to go back to R5. And then these static routes we're going to export into our OSPF domain, our OSPF network on R5. So these networks are these subnets that are off of R6, these static routes on R5, we're going to export into OSPF. So they're going to come in as external. And we're going to see with the NSSA area type, what we're going to see with that is that they're going to be converted on R5. They're going to come in as type 7 LSAs. Once they hit R3, which is the ABR, or otherwise known as the area border router, these type 7 LSAs are going to be converted from type 7 LSAs to type 5s and flooded to OSPF area 0. So you're probably wondering, well, what is the difference between a stub area and a NSSA? Well, the NSSA acts like a stub area in which it is going to filter LSA type 4s and 5s, which is LSA type 4 is the Autonomous System Boundary Router, or the ASBR, generates those, and those are telling you, or the OSPF domain, it's telling, hey, I am the router, or the ASBR, on how to reach these external routes. So we're going to see this generated. R2 is going to be, should be R4 is going to act as an ASBR for the external route 172.16.1 .0/24. So we should see that. And again, LSA type 4s and external routes, which are LSA type 5s, these are going to be blocked from entering into our NSSA. So we're going to take a look at that